Craig, what's your dream 11 when we start next season? Oh, good question. Alisson, Bradley, Kanade, Virgil, Kirkes. Midfield exactly as you would expect it to be. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister. Salah on the right. Dream, you said? Well, the dream would have Julian Alvarez through the centre, and on the left, Cody Gakpo. It will be interesting because it's the secondary aspect of the window that I find intriguing. So if Diaz moves on, who are we going to bring in to compete with Cody on that left-hand side? How many centre forwards are we going to need this summer? So if you look at our forward line, and I name you all the players, Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz. Now obviously Jayden Dan's aside there as well. So there's 5 forwards at the club. And as I sit here speaking to you, I can only feel confident in 2 of them 100% not being available this summer, and that's Salah and Gakpo. I think you can make an argument for Jota, you can make an argument for Diaz, and you can absolutely make an argument for Darwin. So that's 3 potential players there, and every one of them is a realistic worry for us that maybe they get sold in the summer. Now, I say worry, I mean worry in regards to we have to conduct a business to get one in, one out or whatever, but again, lots of uncertainty. And if we're talking Federico as well, yeah, 6. So there could be 2 out of 6 guaranteed to stay at the club. So that's a lot of work to do to rebuild that. And even if you're talking about Dan's being one of them, let's say, so much uncertainty. I just want the window to get cracking now because I want to see what Liverpool are up to and what way the plans look. Kyle said, I'll add that Chiesa is a great talent that Slot is missing on. Yep. I just don't know if he's trying to make a point with Chiesa. Like I've said for a few weeks. You know, the only thing I can think of is that he's a player that was signed without his say-so, and that he's trying to like make a point to the club that you bring in players that I want, and if you're forcing players on me, well, unless they work for me, I'm not playing them. I'm not saying that's right, but it's the only thing I can think of, because if you're looking at it rationally, well, we see the difference he makes and the energy he brings when he comes on and the desire that he has to make things happen. We've seen him score a goal in the cup final. So all of us as fans would love to see Chiesa get a run out. And I expected him to start getting games because after the League Cup final and after the PSG game, we knew that Jota wasn't in great form. We knew that Darwin was absolutely all over the place. So I was fully expecting Chiesa to play. It's the one position I think I do have some sympathy for clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, who are looking for a centre forward. You know, I could go out and find 6, 7, 8, 9 midfielders. I could find many wide attackers. But as a central striker, well, do you know what? I'm going to bring this round a different way. Andy in our Discord group earlier on was saying that he doesn't think that Liam Delap would be a good fit for Arne Slot's system. And I asked a question of Andy, which I didn't mean to be condescending or anything, but I asked it because I was genuinely interested. Well, what does he lack for Arne Slot's system? Can anybody give me an answer to that one? Like, Liam Delap, what attributes does he not have that Arne Slot would want in a striker? Because I'm genuinely not sure what an Arne Slot striker is in the context of Liverpool. Because, you know, I don't know what he wants them to do. You know, is it as simple as sticking the ball in the back of the net? Or does he want the striker to be a hold-up man, to run the channels? So I'm confused. Especially when I see him picking Diogo Jota a lot of the weeks, and I don't see a lot of those attributes in him. What we pretty much need is a Firmino in our team, said Hex. Then Sesko or Cunha is probably the guy. Tanya said Delap's a bargain buy, screams FSG. Well, 30 million quid is certainly worth a punt for somebody. One that can press, dribble, make runs and score. So what about that there can Delap not do? Because he's got better dribbling stats than Isak and Haaland. We went through this the other day. So he out-dribbles both of those. Pressing, he does that. And scoring, well, we've proved he does that. So again, my point is, what is there about Delap that doesn't suit the system? Look, he's not good enough, to be the lone striker. But I still think, I don't know what an Arne Slot striker looks like yet. Because I don't know what way he wants the striker to play. Hot take, I think Akitika would be the best fit. He's like Firmino and can finish. I think he's going to be the one, Stephen, that the club ultimately make a move for. Now again, not saying this with any inside information or anything like that, just reading what I'm reading, seeing what I'm seeing. It just feels like he's the one. João Pedro and him apparently are the ones that tick a lot of the boxes for our data-led analysts, and I think with the price tag of João Pedro being £100 million, I think I can see a world where Liverpool spend the 60 odd or whatever to get Hugo. Šeško talk has all gone too quiet. It definitely is quiet. Arsenal have put in groundwork on him. Of course, we have an ace up our sleeve if we ever wanted Benjamin, because, you know, Jurgen's there. Muckrab said, Craig, I agree. I don't see what's wrong with getting Delap or why we wouldn't. No, I wouldn't feel 100% convinced of him to be the only guy, but I'd take him as part of a double change in our attack with Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez. Then I'd absolutely be open to the idea of Delap being one of the two, particularly at 30 million quid for a homegrown player who will be capped by England and whose value will go up. Wesley said, I think it would be a mistake to pass on Delap at this point. There's just too much value to be had. I agree with you on the value part. I think a club like Man United could offer him more guaranteed starts or minutes, but again, at what level he'd be challenging at there with them, you'd have to ask as well. Said, what are the chances we both get Isak and Delap in your opinion? For me, it will be the perfect attack besides Mo, Lucho, Cody and Dom. By the way, from Germany. Well, welcome in, my friend, and thank you for your question. I totally agree with you about Delap being a great secondary option for any rejigging of the attack. I'd love Isak. I think most of the chat would love Isak, but I really don't feel it's realistic. So Julian Alvarez would be the very top of my wish list, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. So the chances of us getting both of them, in my opinion, are slim to none, because I'm not sure how strong the interest is in Delap, and certainly I just don't think we have a realistic chance to get Isak, my man. What's the value of Robertson? Love to sell him. Been awful the past 2 years. Very little, because he's got 1 year to go in his contract, and then you put into account his age, so 15 mil, 12 to 15 mil, maybe something like that for Andy. But again, I don't see him moving on. I see him staying. They'll see throughout the year if they extend maybe, but I think Kirkes will come in at left back. We sell Costas. If there's no contract extension over the course of the season for Robbo, I don't know if the club look to bring in somebody from the youth team through. I don't really know what prospects we have at left back coming from youth team, so it's an interesting situation. Like, there's so much uncertainty around Canade, Costas, Robbo, Darwin, Jota, Diaz, Trent, obviously, Kwanzaa, Gomez. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of questions to be answered this summer.